put on my rings. Are you all ready for some Lord of the Rings? Welcome, everybody, to Lord of the Rings.
Welcome to the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Today we will be reading The Two Towers.
That is right.
Quite an interesting book.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read it before. Because we just finished the book 2, which is The Fellowship of the Ring. So things are... I'm setting up my book. I was a little bit... I slacked a little bit. Here, give me a second. Give me a second, listeners. Yes, here we go. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Is this thing working? It goes there. Bam. Ooh, there's the book. Let's get my light. I think I need to change the batteries on this. Bam. Still helps a little bit, but yeah, I might need to change the batteries on that. Last time, at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo and Sam set off by themselves. And everyone else is dealing with something. So I guess we're going to find out what that is, eh? We're going to find out what that is. It doesn't seem like we got a very active chat here, so we can just get right into the reading. FYI, I think from now on, I'm just going to do one chapter at a time, because we could just commit to doing one chapter at a time, just read through it, have a good time, and maybe reply to chat more if people want to be active in chat without having to worry too much about how long it's going to take. Because despite the fact that it's so much fun, it is tiring. And it's hard for me to maintain peak quality during for two whole chapters, I guess, when I'm not focused and I got chat going on, and yeah, whatever. Okay. I guess we better get started, huh? Let's see. I feel like I want this more in front of me, but I kind of want it positioned so that it's behind the light, because that's my aesthetic right now. Whatever. Okay. Chapter 1. It's like you want to get into the right head, the right voice, Chapter, yes, I'm Aragorn. Yes, that's not what Aragorn sounds like at all. Chapter 1. The Departure of Boromir. Aragorn sped up. Aragorn sped on the... I can't even get started, mate. It's always like this. Aragorn sped on up the hill. Every now and again he bent to the ground. Hobbits go light, and their footprints are not easy, even for a ranger to read. But not far from the top, a spring crossed the path, and in the wet earth he saw what he was seeking. I read the signs all right. No, not all right. I read the signs all right, he said to himself. Frodo ran to the hilltop. I wonder what he saw there. But he returned by the same way and went down the hill again. Aragorn hesitated. He desired to go to the high seat himself, hoping to see there's something that would guide him in his perplexity. Oh, fucking jeez. That would guide him in his perplexities. But time was pressing. Suddenly he leaped forward and ran to the summit, across the great flagstones and up the steps. Then, sitting in the high seat, he looked out, but the sun seemed darkened, and the world dim and remote. He turned from the north back again to the north, and saw nothing save the distant hills, Unless it were that far away, he could see again like a great. Unless it were that far away, he could see again a great bird, like an eagle high in the air, descending slowly in wide circles down towards the earth. Damn, we still don't got anybody in here. Oh well, whatever. It's tough being a small creator. You know? It's tough. Sometimes you're like, am I wasting my time right now? Like, is this just a massive waste of time? You know, doing this? I have read a third of the Lord of the Rings. You know, I still got 2 more books. This isn't exactly a poppin' series, you know. There's some viewers, yeah, but now that my viral video has died down, you know, it's like I'm talking to a fucking wall. You know? Like, do I even enjoy it? I kind of want to commit to finishing this, you know? Oh well, we're just going to keep going. I don't know if I read this last sentence. We're going to do it again. He turned from the north, back again to north. He turned from the north, back again to north. What? That's what it says. He turned from the north, back again to north, and saw nothing save the distant hills. Unless it were that far away, he could see again a great bird, like an eagle high in the air, descending slowly in wide circles down towards the earth. Even as he gazed, his quick ears caught sounds in the woodlands below, on the west side of the river. He stiffened. There were cries, and among them, to his horror, he could distinguish the harsh voices of orcs. Then suddenly, with a deep-throated call, a great horn blew, and the blasts of it smote the hills and echoes in the hollows, rising a mighty shout above the roaring of the falls. "The horn of Boromir!" he cried. "He is in need!" He sprang down the steps and away, leaping down the path. "Alas, alas, an ill fate is on me this day, and all that I do goes amiss. Where is Sam? Where is Sam?" He's talking to himself, you know, so I'm like, how do I intonate that? "The horn of Boromir! The horn of Boromir!" he cried. "He is in need. Alas, an ill fate is on me this day, and all that I do goes amiss. Where is Sam?" As he ran, the cries came louder, but fainter now, and desperately the horn was blowing. Fierce and shrill rose the yells of orcs, and suddenly the horn calls ceased. Aragorn raced down the last slope. But before he could reach the hill's foot, the sound died away, and as he turned to the left, and ran towards them, they retreated until at last he could hear them no more, drawing his bright sword and crying, "Elendil! Elendil!" He crashed through the trees. A mile, maybe, from Parth Galen, in a little glade not far from the lake, he found Boromir. He was sitting with his back to a great tree, as if he was resting. But Aragorn saw that he was pierced with many black-feathered arrows, his sword still in his hand. But it was broken near the hilt. His horn, cloven in two, was at his side. Many orcs lay slain. Damn, okay. It's a little different in the books. Many orcs lay slain, piled all about him and at his feet. Aragorn knelt beside him. Boromir opened his eyes and strove to speak. At last, slow words came. "I tried to take the ring from Frodo," he said. "I'm sorry. I have paid." His glance strayed to his fallen enemies. 20 at least lay there.
They have gone. The halflings. The orcs have taken them. I think they are done. I think they are not dead. Orcs bound them.
He paused, and his eyes closed warily. After a moment he spoke again.
Farewell, Aragorn. Go to Minas Tirith and save my people. I have failed.
No, no, said Aragorn, taking his hand and kissing his brow. You have conquered. Few have gained such a victory. Be at peace. Minas Tirith shall not fail. Boromir smiled. Which way did they go? Was Frodo there? Well, nope. Which way did they go? Was Frodo there? Said Aragorn, but Boromir did not speak again. Alas, said Aragorn, thus passes the heir of Denethor, Lord of the Tower of God. This is a bitter end. Now the company is all in ruin. It is I that have failed. Vain was Gandalf's trust in me. What shall I do now? Boromir has laid it on me to go to Minas Tirith, and my heart desires it. But where are the ring and the bearer? How shall I find them, and save the quest from disaster? He knelt for a while, bent with weeping, still clasping Boromir's hand. So it was that Legolas and Gimli found him. They came from the western slopes of the hill, silently, creeping through the trees as if they were creeping through the trees as if they were haunting. Oh, no. Creeping through the trees as if they were hunting. Gimli had his axe in hand, and Legolas his long knife. All his arrows were spent. When they came into the glade, they halted in amazement, and then they stood a moment with heads bowed in grief, for it seemed to them plain what had happened. Alas, coming to Aragorn's side, we have hunted and slain many orcs in the woods, but we should have been of more use here. We came when we heard the horn, but too late it seems. I fear you have taken deadly hurt. Boromir is dead. Boromir is dead, said Aragorn. I am unscathed, for I was not here with him. He fell defending the hobbits, while I was away upon the hill.
The hobbits? Cried Gimli. Where are they, then? Where is Frodo?
I do not know, answered Aragorn warily, but before he died, Boromir told me that the orcs had bound them. He did not think that they were dead. I sent him to follow Merry and Pippin, but I did not ask him if Frodo or Sam were with him, not until it was too late. All that I have done today has gone amiss. What is to be done now? First, we must tend to the fallen, said Legolas. We cannot leave him lying like carrion among these foul orcs.
Then we must be swift, said Gimli. He would not wish us to linger. We must follow the orcs, if there is hope that any of our company are living prisoners.
No, that was not how I do him.
But we must be swift, said Gimli. He would not wish us to linger. We must follow the orcs, if there is hope that any of our company are living prisoners.
But we do not know whether the ring-bearer is with them or not, said Aragorn. Are we to abandon him? Must we not seek him first? An evil choice is now before us. Then let us do first what we must do, said Legolas. We have not the time or the tools to bury our comrade fitly, or to raise a mound over him. A cairn we must build.
The labor would be hard and long. There are no stones that we could use nearer than the water side, said Gimli.
Then let us lay him in a boat with his weapons, and the weapons of his vanquished foes, said Aragorn. We will send him to the falls of Arus, and give him to Anduin. The river of Gondor will take care, at least,
that no evil creature dishonors his bones. Quickly they searched the bodies of the orcs, gathering their swords and cloven helms and sheeps and shields into a heap. See, see, cried Aragorn. Here we find 2 tokens. He picked out from the pile of grim weapons 2 knives, leaf-bladed, damasked in gold and red, and searching further he also found the sheaths, black, set with small red gems. No orc tools these, he said. They were borne by the hobbits. Doubtless the orcs despoiled them, but feared to keep the knives, knowing them for what they are, work of Westernesse, wound with spells for the bane of Mordor. Well, now, if they still live, our friends are weaponless. I will take these things, hoping against hope to give them back. And I, said Legolas, will take all the arrows that I can find, for my quiver is empty. He searched the pile, and on the ground about them. He searched in the pile, and on the ground about, and found not a few that were undamaged, and longer in the shaft than such arrows as the orcs were accustomed to use. He looked at them closely. Damn, dude, this is quite the turnout we have here, huh? Oof. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And this is why it is hard to be a streamer. You know, this is why. Very, very demoralizing. Very, very demoralizing. Oh, maybe it's just bad content, you know? That's too bad. Maybe I need to do a better job of reading. Okay. Break time over. Sorry, I didn't mean to, for the viewers at home, to sit there and zone out for too long. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It's not the time to be demoralized, William. You must continue to try to read. All right. And the River Condor. Here we find tokens, and And Aragorn looked on the slain, and he said, Here lie many that are not the folk of God. Here lie many that are not folk of Mordor. Some are from the north, and from the misty mountains. If I know anything of orcs and their kinds, and here are others strange to me, their gear is not after the manner of orcs at all. There were 4 goblin soldiers of greater stature, swart, slant-eyed, with thick legs and large hands. They were armed with short, broad-bladed swords, not with the curved scimitars usual with orcs, and they had bows of yew, in length and shape like the bows of men. Upon their shields they bore a strange device, a small white hand in the center of a black field. On the front of their iron helms was set an S rune, wrought of some white metal. I have not seen these tokens before, said Aragorn. What do they mean? S is for Sauron, said Gimli. That is easy to read. Nay, said Legolas, Sauron does not use the elf runes. Neither does he use his right name, nor permit it to be spelt or spoken, said Aragorn. He does not use white. The orcs in the service of Barad-dûr use the sign of the red eye. He stood for a moment and thought. S is for Saruman, I guess. S is for Saruman, I guess, he said at length. There is evil afoot in Isengard, and the west is no longer safe. It is, as Gandalf feared. By some means the traitor Saruman has had news of our journey. It is likely, too, that he knows of Gandalf's fall. Pursuers from Moria may have escaped the vigilance of Lorien, or they may have avoided the land and come to Isengard by other paths. Orcs travel fast, but Saruman has many ways of learning news. Do you remember the birds?
Well, we have no time to ponder riddles,
said Gimli.
Let us bear Boromir away.
But after that we must guess the riddles, if we are to choose our course rightly, answered Aragorn.
Maybe there is no right choice,
said Gimli. Taking his axe, the dwarf now cut several branches. These they lashed together with bowstrings and spread their cloaks upon the frame. Upon this rough bier they carry the body of their companion to the shore, together with such trophies of his last battle as they chose to send forth with him. It was only a short way, yet they found it no easy task, for Boromir was a man both tall and strong. At the waterside, Aragorn remained, watching the bier, while Legolas and Gimli hastened back on foot to Parth Galen. It was a mile or more. It was some time before they came back, paddling 2 boats swiftly along the shore. There is a strange tale to tell, said Legolas. There are only 2 boats upon the bank. We could find no trace of the other. Have orcs been there? Asked Aragorn.
We saw no signs of them, answered Gimli. And orcs would have taken or destroyed all the boats, and the baggage as well.
I will look at the ground when we come there, said Aragorn. Now they laid Boromir in the middle of the boat that was to bear him away. The grey hood and elven cloak they folded and placed beneath his head. They combed his long dark hair and arrayed it upon his shoulders. The golden belt of Lorien gleamed about his waist. His helm they set beside him, and across his lap they laid the cloven horn and the hilt and shards of his sword. Beneath his feet they put the swords of his enemies. Then, fastening the prow to the stern of the other boat, they drew him out into the water. They rowed sadly along the shore, and turning into the swift-running channel, they passed the green sward of Parth Galen. The steep sides of Tol Brandir were glowing. It was now mid-afternoon. They went south. The fume of Rarus rose. Nope, not that sentence. As they went south, the fume of Rarus rose and shimmered before them, a haze of gold. The rush and thunder of the falls shook the windless air. Sorrowfully, they cast loose the funeral boat. There Boromir lay, restful, peaceful, gliding upon the bosom of flowing water. The stream took him while they held their own boat back with their paddles. He floated by them. Slowly his boat departed, waning to a dark spot against the golden light, and then suddenly it vanished. Rorus roared on unchanging. The river had taken Boromir, son of Denethor, and he was not seen in Minas Tirith, standing as he used to stand upon the White Tower in the morning. But in Gondor, in after days, it long was said that the elven boat rode the falls and the foaming pool, and bore him down through Osgiliath, and past the many mouths of Anduin, out into the great sea at night under the stars. For a while the 3 companions remained silent, gazing after them. Wait. Made it. Peachy Keen! Thank God somebody's here.
Thank you. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. For a while, the three companions remained silent, gazing after him. Then Aragorn spoke. They will look for him from the White Tower. They will look for him from the White Tower, he said. But he will not return from the mountain or from sea. Then slowly he began to sing. Song time. Song time. Ooh, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Are you ready, Peachy Keen? You came just in time for the song. I'm reading just to you. Yeah, I sure am, pretty much. Enjoy this. I am good. I'm good. A little silent in this stream, you know. It's more fun to have some activity, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you joining, though I wish you would have waited until after the song. I'm just kidding. Oh, here, wait. I'm opening. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. How does Aragorn sing? Yes, he is singing. I am Aragorn, and I like to sing songs. Oh my goodness gracious! Because I've like a fetish for elves or something. Okay. Yes. Dude, yeah. I get, yeah. Through Rohan over fen and field, where the long grass grows, the west wind comes walking, and about the walls it goes. Fuck. And about the walls it goes. What news from the west, a wandering wind, do you bring to me tonight? What news from the west, a wandering wind, do you bring to me tonight? See, like, getting notes. Like, I feel like when I sing a song that exists, you know, I can get notes, sort of. I mean, I'm not good at it, but I can be. But this, I'm sight reading this. Okay, let's keep going. What news from the west, a wandering wind, do you bring to me tonight? Have you seen Boromir? He's improvising this. He's totally improvising this. He's singing about Boromir, bro. Have you seen Boromir, the tall by moon or by starlight? I saw him ride over 7 streams, over waters wide and grey. I saw him walk in empty lands until he passed away. Into the shadows of the north, I saw him then no more. The north wind may have heard the horn of the son of Denethor. He's a bard. I guess, apparently, dude. Everyone's a fucking bard. Oh, no. This is hilarious. Okay. Oh, Boromir, oh, Boromir, oh, Boromir. From the high walls westward I looked afar. From the high walls westward I looked afar. But you came not from the empty lands where no men are. Then Legolas sang, here comes Legolas. From the mouths of the sea of the south, from the mouths... Legolas, he sounds a little more aloof. From the mouths of the sea, the south wind flies, from the sand hills and the stones. The wailing of the gulls it bears, and the gate it moans, and at the gate it moans. What new... Oh, God. Dude, I don't like to do a bad job, you know? And that's the worst part. Is like, I know I'm doing a bad job. And I'm like, how can I do better at this? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Just busting a jig with the boys. Yeah, dude. Legolas sounds like this, of course. Yes. From the mouths of the sea of the south, wind flies. From the sand hills
and the stones, the wailing of the gulls it bears, and at the gate it moans. What news from the south, O sighing wind, do you bring to me at eve? Where now is Boromir the fair? He tarries, and I grieve. Ask not of me where he doth dwell, so many bones there lie on the white shores and the dark shores under the stormy sky. So many have passed down Anduin to find the flowing sea. Ask of the north wind news of them, the north wind sends to me. O Boromir, beyond the gate, the seaward road runs south, but you came not with the wailing gulls from the grey sea's mouth.
I'm doing great. Thanks. I appreciate it, PG Keen. Then Aragorn sang again. From the gate of the kings the north wind rides, and past the roaring falls, and clear and cold about the tower its loud horn calls. What news from the north, O mighty wind, do you bring to me today? What news of Boromir the bold, for he is long away, Beneath Amon-Hen I heard his cry. There many foes he fought, his cloven shield, his broken sword, they to the water brought. His head so proud, his face so fair, his limbs they laid to rest, and golden Raros falls, bore him upon its breast. O Boromir, the tower of guard, shall ever northward gaze. To Rhoros, golden Rhoros falls, until the end of days. Oh, God. It's over. That's it. Okay. Oh, we're almost at the end already. Oh, my God. It's only been 30 minutes. Okay. I just said at the beginning of this episode that I might only read one chapter, but, like, it's already almost done. So maybe I do one more. Even though the viewership's a little low this time. Boromir died and they're sad and they're singing about him. Boromir died, he got killed. And they sent him off down the river and now they're singing about him. So not they're sad. They're sad. It's not a hype song, that's for sure. Yeah, right. That's what I'm worried about. It being like super long. So they ended, and they turned their boat and drove it with all the speed they could against the stream back to Parth Galen.
You left the east wind to me, said Gimli, but I will say naught of it.
That is as it should be, said Aragorn. Administreth, they endure the east wind, but they do not ask for it. But they do not ask it for tidings. But now Boromir has taken his road, and we must make haste to choose our own.
It's sad. It's sad. Boromir dead. It wasn't Boromir. It's like in the movies. It was a kind of like quite a whole thing, you know. Like it showed him protecting the hobbits, and then but this one it was just Aragorn runs up and sees him just full of arrows, and he's like, "Oh, the hobbits! They took the hobbits," and that's like all that happens. So it's a little less exciting, but this part is definitely more drawn out than it was. The aftermath of his death and his funeral or whatever. Okay. He surveyed the green lawn,
quickly but thoroughly stooping off into the earth. "The orcs have been on this ground," he said. Otherwise nothing can be made out for certain. All our footprints are here, crossing and recrossing. I cannot tell whether any of the hobbits have come back since the search for Frodo began." He turned to the bank, close to where the rill from the spring trickled into the river. "There are some clearer prints here," he said. "A hobbit waded out into the water and back, but I cannot say how long ago."
"'Twas not the scenes in my head since I was late." Yeah. You might have missed the context a little bit, which is fine, of course. At least you're here. At least you're here. I can explain the context if you need be.
"How, then, do you read this riddle?"
asked Gimli. Aragorn did not answer at once, but went back to the camping place and looked at the baggage. "2 packs are missing," he said, "and one is certainly Sam's. It was rather large and heavy. This is the answer. Frodo has gone by boat, and his servant has gone with him. Frodo must have returned while we were all away. I met Sam going up the hill and told him to follow me, but plainly he did not do so. He guessed his master's mind, and came back here before Frodo had gone. He did not find it easy to leave Sam behind."
"But why should he leave us behind, and without a word?" said Gimli. "That was a strange deed."
"And a brave deed," said Aragorn. Sam was right, I think. Frodo did not wish to lead any friend to death with him and Mordor, but he knew that he must go himself. Something happened after he left us that overcame his fear and doubt."
"Maybe hunting orcs came on him, and he fled," said Legolas.
"He fled, certainly," said Aragorn, "but not, I think, from the orcs." What he thought was the cause of Frodo's sudden resolve and flight, Aragorn did not say. The last words of Boromir he kept long secret.
Well, so much at least is now clear," said Legolas. "Frodo is no longer on this side of the river. Only he can have taken the boat, and Sam is with him. Only he would have taken his pack." "Our choice, then," said Gimli, "is either to take the remaining boat and follow Frodo, or else to follow the orcs on foot. There is little hope either way. We have already lost precious hours."
Let me think, said Aragorn. "And now, may I make the right choice, and change this evil fate of this unhappy day?" He stood silent for a moment. "I will follow the orcs," he said at last. I would have guided Frodo to Mordor and gone with him to the end. But if I seek him now in the wilderness, I must abandon the captives to torment and death. My heart speaks clearly at last. The fate of the bearer is in my hands no longer. The company has played its part. Yet we that remain cannot forsake our companions while we have strength left. Come, we will go now. Leave all that can be spared behind. We will press on by day and dark."
It is kind of cool that there's all this shit going on. You know, Frodo's got the ring and is trying to get it to Mordor, and there's all this shit, and Boromir's dead, and Boromir literally asked Aragorn, like, go to Minas Tirith and help with Minas Tirith and protect it or something. And there's all this important shit going on. And Aragorn is just like, you know what? I'm just going to help the two not very important captured hobbits because they're our companions, and I just want to help them out. I don't want to abandon them. Like, what a nice guy. Like, oh my God. The sweetest man ever. You know, he's just like, we're just gonna go save the hobbits. That's just what we're gonna do. That's just what we're going to do. And it's like, wow. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. You know, it just kind of happens in the movies. You know, you don't think about it. And it's like, okay, they're going to help him. But like reading this with the context, it's like, it was like, he just was like, you know what? Let's just go help these guys. Let's be a Leo. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Definitely a Leo. I agree. They drew up. They drew up the last boat and carried it to the trees. They laid beneath it such of their goods as they did not need and could not carry away. Then they left Parthgalen. The afternoon was fading as they came back to the glade where Boromir had fallen. There they picked up the trail of the orcs. It needed little skill to find. Oh. Oop. There we go. No other folk made such a trampling, said Legolas. It seems their delight to slash and beat down growing things that are not even in their way. It seems their delight to slash and beat down growing things that are not even in their way. But they go with great speed for all that, said Aragorn, and they do not tire. And later we may have to search for our path in hard, bare lands.
Well, after them, said Gimli. Dwarves, too, can go swiftly, and they do not tire sooner than orcs. But it will be a long chase. They have a long start.
Yes, said Aragorn. We shall all need the endurance of dwarves. But come, with hope or without hope, we will follow the trail of our enemies, and woe to them if we prove the swifter. We will make such a chase as shall be accounted a marvel among the three kindreds, elves, dwarves, and men. Forth, the three hunters.
Wow. That's what he's trying to do. That's why he's doing it. His noble goal, bringing them all back together and making a peaceful world between the races.
Like a deer, he sprang away. Through the trees he sped. On and on he led them, tireless and swift. Now that his mind was at least made up, the woods about the lake they left behind.
The woods about the lake they left behind. What? That sentence doesn't even make sense. It just says that. It's like on and on he led them tireless and swift. Now that his mind was at last made up, the woods about the lake they left behind. Okay, no, I think that's a makes sense sentence. I just need to read it better. The woods about the lake they left behind. That makes more sense.
Long slopes they climbed, dark, hard-edged against the sky, already red with sunset. Dusk came. They passed away, gray shadows in a stony land.
And that's the end of the chapter. It was actually 45 minutes. So we're going to end it. I'm just kidding. I feel like I got to get at least an hour, so I think I have to read another one. I'm going to take a little break here and respond to a message. Because, you want to talk to people. Shit, what is going on here? I'm sorry, I'm looking for something specific. I would explain it, but I'm going to not do that. Okay, let's see. There's some Discord I'm in planning a thing. Let's see. Cinemike. Oh yeah, I know. I gotta do it. But I mean, I generally will stream Mondays at the same time every week. Okay. All right. I should still do it for sure, definitely. But I do it at the same time every week. Okay. Peachy Keen's here. Okay. Sure, Peachy Keen was also a little late, but Peachy Keen's here because Peachy Keen's cool. No, I'm just kidding. You're cool too, Cinemike. Okay. All right, let's keep reading, huh? Nice, nice, nice. What up today? Just having a good old day, doing my dang thing. Did I see Obsession? I did not. I did not. I don't know if I want to watch Obsession as a very, not to TMI, very single, lonely man. I feel like that would, I don't know, something about it would be off. I think it is I think it'll be something I have to watch eventually. Maybe someday if I'm ever more mentally stable. But it's good. I hear it's very good. Backrooms movie? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's keep reading. I don't want to be here for 3 hours, so we got to press on this because this could be a long chapter. Chapter 2, The Riders of Rohan. Chapter 2. How do you say that? What's the right way to say it? Chapter 2, The Riders of Rohan. That's pretty good, maybe. Dusk. Dusk deepened. Mist lay behind them among the trees below. Whoa, vibration. Okay, sorry. Fuck, I got distracted. Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. Mist lay behind them among the trees below, and brooded on the pale margins of the Anduin, but the sky was clear. Stars came out. The waxing moon was rising in the west, and the shadows of the rocks were black. They had come to the feet of stony hills, and their pace was slower, but the trail was no longer easy to follow. Here, the highlights of the Yemen Mule ran from north to south in 2 long tumbled ridges. The western side of each ridge was steep and difficult, but the eastward slopes were gentler, furrowed with many gullies and narrow ravines. All night the 3 companions scrambled in this bony land, climbing to the crest of the first and tallest ridge, and down again into the darkness of a deep winding valley on the other side. There, in the still cool hour before dawn, they rested for a brief space. The moon had long gone down before them. The stars glittered above them. The first light of day had not yet come over the dark hills behind. For a moment, Aragorn was at a loss. The orc trail had descended into the valley, but there it had vanished. "Which way would they turn, do you think?" said Legolas. "Northward, to take a straighter road to Isengard, or Fangorn, if that is their aim, you guess. Or southward, to strike the Entwash. They will not make for the river, whatever mark they aim at, said Aragorn, unless there is much amiss in Rohan, and the power of Saruman is greatly increased. They will take the shortest way they can find. Over the fields of the Rohirrim. Let us search northwards. No Backrooms movie? Did you answer my question? What is that? Is it literally just called Backrooms? Oh, it is. Psychological horror film. I'm not a big horror guy, usually. Okay. The dale ran like a stony trough between the ridged hills, and a trickling stream flowed among the boulders at the bottom. A cliff frowned upon their right. To their left rose gray slopes, dim and shadowy in the late night. They went on for a mile or more northwards. Aragorn was searching, bent towards the ground, among the folds and gullies leading up into the western ridge. Legolas was some way ahead. Suddenly the elf gave a cry, and the others came running towards him. "We have already overtaken some of those that we are hunting," he said. "Look," he pointed, and they saw that what they had at first taken to be boulders lying at the foot of the slope were huddled bodies. 5 dead orcs lay there.
They had been hewn with many cruel strokes, and 2 had been beheaded. The ground was wet with their dark blood.
"Here is another riddle,"
Said Gimli.
"but it needs the light of day, and for that we cannot wait.
Yet, however you read it, it seems not unhelpful," said Legolas. "Enemies of the orcs are likely to be our friends. Do any folk dwell in these hills?"
"No,"
said Aragorn. "The Rohirrim seldom come here, and it is far from Minas Tirith. It might be that some company of men were hunting here for reasons that we do not know, yet I think not."
"What do you think?"
said Gimli. I think that the enemy brought his own enemy with him," answered Aragorn. "These are northern orcs from far away. Among the slain are none of the great orcs with the strange badges. There was a quarrel, I guess. It is no uncommon thing with these foul folk. Maybe there was some dispute about the road. Ah, yes, maybe there was some dispute about the road."
"Or about the captives,"
said Gimli.
"Let us hope that they, too, did not meet their end here."
Aragorn searched the ground in a wide circle, but no other traces of the fight could be found. They went on. Already the eastward sky was turning pale. The stars were fading, and a gray light was slowly growing. A little further north they came to a fold in which a tiny stream, falling and winding, had cut a stony path down into the valley. In it some bushes grew, and there were patches of grass upon its sides. "At last," said Aragorn, "here are the tracks that we seek. Up this water channel. This is the way that the orcs went after the debate." Swiftly now the pursuers turned and followed the new path. As if fresh from a night's rest, they sprang from stone to stone. At last they reached the crest of the gray hill, and a sudden breeze blew in their hair and stirred their cloaks, the chill wind of dawn. Turning back, they saw across the river the far hills kindled. Day leaped into the sky. The red rim of the sun rose over the shoulders of the dark land. Before them, in the west, the world lay still, formless and gray. But even as they looked, the shadows of night melted. The colors of the waking earth returned. Green flowed over the wide meads of Rohan. The white mists shimmered in the water vales. And far off to the left, 30 leagues or more, blue and purple stood the white mountains, rising into peaks of jet, tipped with glimmering snows, flushed with the rose of morning. "Gondor! Gondor!" Ah, what does Aragorn sound when he's loud? He sounds like this. "Gondor! Gondor!" cried Aragorn. "Would that I looked on you again in happier hour. Would that I looked on you again in happier hour. Not yet does my road lie southward to your bright streams." Oh, fuck. A song? He's sneaking a song in at me, dude. What the heck? What in the heck, mate? "Gondor, Gondor, between the mountains and the sea, west wind blew there, the light upon the silver tree, fell like bright rain in gardens of the kings of old. O proud walls, white towers, O winged crown and throne of gold, O Gondor, Gondor, shall men behold the silver tree, or west wind blow again between the mountains and the sea." I had a good note there. That one's as good. "Gondor, Gondor, between the mountains and the sea, between the mountains and the sea, west wind blew there, the light upon the silver tree."
That one's not bad.
Fell like bright rain in gardens of the kings of old. O proud walls, white towers, O winged crown and throne of gold.
Yeah, I feel like that one's good. Okay, I'm going to stop singing because we're going to move on from that one.
Now, let us go, he said, drawing his eyes away from the south and looking out west and north to the way that he must tread. The ridge upon which the companions stood went down steeply before their feet. Below it, 20 fathoms or more, there was a wide and rugged shelf which ended suddenly in the brink of a sheer cliff, the east wall of Rohan. So ended the Emmanuel, and the green plains of the Rohirrim stretched away before them to the edge of the sight. And the green plains of the Rohirrim stretched away before them to the edge of sight. "Look!" cried Legolas, pointing up into the pale sky before them, pointing up into the pale sky above them. "There is an eagle again. He is very high. He seems to be flying now away. From this land back to the north. He is going with great speed. Look."
"No, not even my eyes can see him, my good Legolas," said Aragorn. "He must be far aloft indeed. I wonder what is his errand, if he is the same bird that I've seen before. But look, I can see something nearer at hand, and more urgent. There is something moving over the plain." "Many things," said Legolas. "It is a great company on foot. But I cannot say more, nor see what kind of folk they may be. They are many leagues away, 12, I guess. But the flatness of the plain is hard to measure. I think, nonetheless, that we no longer need any trail to tell us which way to go," said Gimli. "Let us find a path down to the fields as quick as may be." "I doubt if you will find a path quicker than the one that the orcs chose," said Aragorn. They followed their enemies now by the clear light of day. It seemed that the orcs had pressed on with all possible speed. Every now and again, the pursuers found things that had been dropped or cast away: food bags, the rinds and crust of hard gray bread, a torn black cloak, a heavy iron-nailed shoe broken in the stones. The trail led them north along the top of the escarpment.
What the fuck is escarpment? Let's look that up. Escarpment. A steep slope or long cliff that results from erosion or faulting and separates two relatively level areas of differing elevations. A steep slope in front of a fortification. Okay. People need to stop messaging me about H3. Okay, where are we at? Escarpment. Okay. Led them along the top of the escarpment. At length they came to a deep cleft carved in the rock by a stream that splashed noisily down. In the narrow ravine, a rough path descended like a steep stair into the plain. At the bottom they came with a strange suddenness on the grass of Rohan. It swelled like a green sea up to the very foot of the Emmanuel. The falling stream vanished into a deep growth of cresses and water plants. They could hear it tinkling away in green tunnels, down long gentle slopes towards the fens of Entwash Vale far away. They seemed to have left winter clinging to the hills behind. Here the air was softer and warmer and faintly scented, as if spring was already stirring, and the sap was flowing again in herb and leaf. Legolas took a deep breath, like one that drinks a great draught after long thirst in barren places.
"Ah, the green smell, he said. "It is better than much sleep. Let us run."
Light feet may run swiftly here. Light feet may run swiftly here, said Aragorn. More swiftly, maybe, than iron-shod orcs. Now we have a chance to lessen their lead. They went in single file, running like hounds on a strong scent, and an eager light was in their eyes. Nearly due west, the broad swath of the marching orcs tramped its ugly slot. The sweet grass of Rohan had been bruised and blackened as they passed. Presently, Aragorn gave a cry and turned aside. "Stay!" he shouted. "Do not follow me yet." He ran quickly to the right, away from the main trail, for he had seen footprints that went that way. Branching off from the others, the marks of small and shod feet. These, however, did not go far before they were crossed by orc prints, also coming out from the main trail behind and in front, and then they curved sharply back again and were lost in the trampling. At the furthest point, Aragorn stooped and picked up something from the grass. Then he ran back. "Yes," he said, "they are quite plain. A hobbit's footprints. Pippin's, I think. He is smaller than the others. And look at this." He held up a thing that glittered in the sunlight. It looked like the new open leaf of a breech tree, fair and strange in that treeless plain. "The brooch of an elven cloak," cried Legolas and Gimli together. "The brooch of an elven cloak," cried Legolas and Gimli together. "Not idly did the leaves of Lorien fall," said Aragorn. "This did not drop by chance. It was cast away, as a token to any that might follow. I think Pippin ran away from the trail for that purpose." "Then at least he was alive," said Gimli, "and he had the use of his wits, and his legs too. That is heartening. We do not pursue in vain." "Let us hope that he did not pay too dearly for his boldness," said Legolas. "Come, let us go on. The thought of those merry young folk driven like cattle burns my heart."
How you guys doing? Anyone there? You having fun? I am doing okay. Let's see. The sun climbed to the noon and then rode slowly down the side. Ooh. Yeah, I did read that right. Not completely, but the sun climbed to the noon and then rode slowly down the sky. Light clouds came up out of the sea in the distant south and were blown away upon the breeze. The sun sank. Shadows rose behind and reached out long arms from the east. Still the hunters held on. One day now had passed since Boromir fell, and the orcs were yet far ahead. No longer could any sight of them be seen in the level plains. As nightshade was closing about them, Aragorn halted. Only twice in the day's march had they rested for a brief while, and 12 leagues now lay between them and the eastern wall where they had stood at dawn. Chrysanthemum, you like the narrator. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm glad you're having a good time, Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. Yeah, I said that right, I think. Okay, where were we? Let's see. He stood at dawn. "We have come at last to a hard choice," he said. "Shall we rest by night, or shall we go on while our will and strength hold? Unless our enemies rest also, they will leave us far behind if we stay to sleep," said Legolas. "Surely even orcs must pause on the march," said Gimli. "Seldom will orcs journey in the open under the sun, yet these have done so," said Legolas. "Certainly they will not rest by night." "But if we walk by night, we cannot follow their trail," said Gimli. "The trail is straight, and neither turns right nor left, as far as my eyes can see."
said Legolas. Maybe I could lead you at a guess in the darkness and hold to the line, said Aragorn. But if we strayed, or they turned aside, then, when light came, there might be long delay before the trail was found again.
And there is this also, said Gimli. Only by day can we see if any tracks lead away, if a prisoner should escape, or if one should be carried off. Eastward, say, to the great river, towards Mordor, where we might pass the signs and never know it.
I love it when they're listening to the story and not chatting. Oh, yeah. That is good. That means I'm somewhat entertaining, hopefully at least, which is my objective.
That is true.
Let's see. Well, what the frick? Where am I at? Okay.
That is true, said Aragorn. But if I read the signs back yonder rightly, the orcs of the White Hand prevailed, and the whole company is now bound for Isengard. Their present course bears me out.
Yet it would be rash to be sure of their counsels, said Gimli, and of what escape. In the dark we should have passed the signs that led you to the brooch.
The orcs will be doubly on their guard since then, and the prisoners even warier, said Legolas. There will be no escape again, if we do not contrive it. How is it to be done cannot be guessed, but first we must overtake them.
And yet even I, dwarf of many journeys, and not the least hardy of my folk, cannot run all the way to Isengard without any pause, said Gimli. My heart burns me too. If I would, and I would have started sooner, but now I must rest a little to run the better. And if we rest, then the blind night is the time to do so.
I said that it was a hard choice, said Aragorn. How shall we end this debate?
You are our guide, said Gimli, and you are skilled in the chase. You shall choose.
My heart bids me go on, said Legolas, but we must hold together. I will follow your counsel. You give the choice to an ill chooser, said Aragorn. Since we passed through the Argonath, my choices have gone amiss. He fell silent, gazing north and west into the gathering night for a long while. We will not walk in the dark, he said at length. The peril of missing the trail, or signs of what other coming and going, seems to me the greater. If the moon gave enough light, we would use it. But alas, he sets early, and is yet young and pale.
And tonight it is shrouded anyway,
Gimli murmured.
Would that the lady had given us a light, such a gift as she gave to Frodo.
It will be more needed where it is bestowed, said Aragorn. With him lies the true quest. Ours is but a small matter in the great deeds of this time. A vain pursuit from its beginning, maybe, which no choice of mine can mar or mend. Well, I have chosen, so let us use the time as best we may.
Using the time.
He cast himself on the ground and fell at once into sleep, for he had not slept since their night under the shadow of Tol Brandir. Before dawn was in the sky, he woke and rose. Gimli was still deep in slumber, but Legolas was standing, gazing northwards into the darkness, thoughtful and silent as a young tree in a windless night. They are far, far away, he said sadly, turning to Aragorn. I know in my heart that they have not rested this night. Only an eagle could overtake them now. Nonetheless, we will still follow as we may, said Aragorn, stooping as he roused the dwarf. Come, we must go, he said. The scent is growing cold.
But it is still dark, said Gimli. Even Legolas, on a hilltop, could not see them till the sun is up.
I fear they have passed beyond my sight, from hill or plain, under moon or sun, said Legolas. Where sight fails, the earth may bring us rumour, where sight fails, the earth may bring us rumour, said Aragorn. The land must groan under their hated feet. He stretched himself upon the ground, with his ear pressed against the turf. He lay there, motionless, for so long a time that Gimli wondered if he had swooned or fallen asleep again. Dawn came glimmering, and slowly a great light grew about them. At last he rose, and now his friends could see his face. It was pale and drawn, and his look was troubled. The rumour of the earth is dim and confused, he said. Nothing walks upon it for many miles about us. Faint and far are the feet of our enemies, but loud are the hoofs of horses. It comes to my mind that I heard them, even as I lay on the ground in sleep, and they troubled my dreams, horses galloping, passing in the west. But now they are drawing ever further from us, riding northward. I wonder what is happening in this land.
Let us go,
said Legolas. So the third day after their pursuit began. Oh, shit. Said that wrong. So the third day of their pursuit began. During all its long hours of cloud and fitful sun, they hardly paused, now striding, now running, as if no weariness could quench the fire that burned them. They seldom spoke. Over the wide solitude they passed, and their elven cloaks faded against the background of the gray-green fields. Even in the cool sunlight of midday, few but elvish eyes would have marked them until they were close at hand. Often in their hearts they thanked the Lady of Lorien for the gift of Lembas, for they could eat of it and find new strength even as they ran. All day the track of their enemies led straight on, going northwest without a break or turn. As once again the day wore to its end, they came to long treeless slopes, where the land rose, swelling up towards a line of low humpbacked downs ahead. The Orc trail grew fainter as it bent north towards them, for the ground became harder and the grass shorter. Far away to the left the river Entwash wound, a silver thread in a green floor. No moving thing could be seen. Often Aragorn wondered that they saw no sign of beast or man. The dwellings of the Rohirrim were for the most part many leagues away to the south, under the wooded eaves of the White Mountains, now hidden in mist and cloud. Yet the horse lords had formerly kept many herds and studs in the Eastamnet. Some words, man. Now hidden in mist and the horse lords had formerly kept many herds and studs in the Eastamnet, this easterly region of their realm, and there the herdsmen had wandered much, living in camp and tent, even in winter time. But now all the land was empty, and there was a silence that did not seem to be the quiet of peace. At dusk they halted again. Now twice 12 leagues they had passed over the plains of Rohan, and the wall of Emyn Muil was lost in the shadows of the east. The young moon was glimmering in a misty sky, but it gave small light, and the stars were veiled. Now do I most grudge a time of rest, or any halt in our chase.
That sentence didn't make any sense, but that is how it's written,
said Legolas. The orcs have run before us, as if the very whips of Sauron were behind them. I fear they have already reached the forest and the dark hills, and even now are passing into the shadows of the trees. Gimli ground his teeth.
This is the bitter end to our hope, and to all our toil, he said.
To hope, maybe, but not to toil, said Aragorn. We shall not turn back here. Yet I am weary. He gazed back along the way that they had come, towards the night gathering in the east. There is something strange at work in this land. I distrust the silence. I distrust even the pale moon. The stars are faint, and I am weary as I have seldom been before, weary as no ranger should be in a clear trail to follow. There is some will that lends speed to our foes and sets an unseen barrier before us, a wariness that is in the heart more than in the limb.
Truly, said Legolas, that I have known since first we came down from the Immen Mule, for the will is not behind us, but before us.
He pointed away over the land of Rohan. Into the darkling west under the sickle moon.
Saruman,
muttered Aragorn. But he shall not turn us back. Halt we must once more, for see, even the moon is falling into gathering cloud. But north lies our road between Down and Fen when day returns. As before, Legolas was first afoot, if indeed he had ever slept.
Awake, 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 he cried. It is a red dawn. Strange things await us by the eaves of the forest. Good or evil, I do not know, but we are called. Awake.
The others sprang up, and almost at once they set off again. Slowly the downs drew near. It was still an hour before noon when they reached them. Green slopes rising to bare ridges that ran in a line straight towards the north. At their feet the ground was dry and the turf short, but a long strip of sunken land, some 10 miles wide, lay between them and the river wandering deep in dim thickets of reed and rush. Just to the west of the southernmost mouthful. Ooh. I'm a tired guy. Reading kind of takes it out of you, you know? Sorry, reading aloud. Reading to yourself is easy, but just to the west of the southernmost slope, there was a great ring, but the turf had been torn and beaten by many trampling feet. From it, the orc trail ran out again, turning north along the dry skirts of the hills. Aragorn halted and examined the tracks closely. They rested here a while, he said. But even the outwards trail is already old. I fear that your heart spoke truly, Legolas. It is thrice 12 hours, I guess, since the orcs stood where we now stand. If they held to their pace, then at sundown yesterday they would reach the borders of Fangorn.
I can see nothing away north or west but grass dwindling into mist, said Gimli. Could we see the forest if we climbed the hills?
It is still far away, said Aragorn. If I remember rightly, these downs run 8 leagues or more to the north. Then northwest to the issuing of the Entwash, there lies still a wide land. Another 15 leagues it may be.
Well, let us go on, said Gimli. My legs must forget the miles. They would be more willing if my heart were less heavy.
The sun was sinking when at last they drew near to the end of the line of downs. For many hours they had marched without rest.
They were going slowly now, and Gimli's back was bent. Stone hard are the dwarves in labor or journey, but this endless chase began to tell on him. But this endless chase began to tell on him, as all hope failed in his heart. Aragorn walked behind him, grim and silent, stooping only now and again to scan some print or mark upon the ground. Only Legolas still stepped lightly as ever. His feet hardly seemed to press the grass, leaving no footprints as he passed. But in the way of the elves, he found all the sustenance. That he needed, and he could sleep, if sleep it could be called by men, resting his mind in the strange paths of elvish dreams, even as he walked open-eyed in the light of this world.
Huh.
Let us go up onto this green hill, he said. Warily they followed him, climbing the long slope, until they came out upon the top. It was a round hill, smooth and bare, standing by itself, the most northerly of the downs. The sun sank, and the shadows of evening fell like a curtain. They were alone in a gray, formless world, without mark or measure. Only far away northwest there was a deeper darkness. Against the dying light, the mountains of mist, and the forest at their feet.
Oh, here. Sometimes I just want to keep my stream open to make sure I'm actually still going, you know? I had a stream once where, like, there wasn't a lot of activity, and the stream just stopped working, and I didn't realize. And it was like, uh-oh. But then I open the stream and see I have a few viewers, and it disheartens me, so I just gotta, I don't know. We're gonna close this, but it is working. That is what matters. Okay. He walked up behind the light of this world. Let's go upon the green hill. Really, Mr. Man.
Nothing we can see to guide us here, said Gimli. Well, now we must halt again and wear the night away. It is growing cold.
The wind is north from the snows, said Aragorn.
And ere morning it will be in the east, said Legolas. But rest, if you must. Yet do not cast all hope away. Tomorrow is unknown. Reed oft is found at the rising of the sun. Three suns already have risen in our chase, and brought no counsel, said Gimli.
The night grew even colder. Aragorn and Gimli slept fitfully, and whenever they awoke they saw Legolas standing beside them, or walking to and fro, singing softly to himself in his own tongue. And as he sang, the white stars opened in the hard black vault above. So the night passed. Together they watched the dawn grow slowly in the sky, now bare and cloudless, until at last the sunrise came. It was pale and clear. The wind was in the east, and all the mists had rolled away. Wide hands lay bleak about them in the bitter light.
Fucking heck, how much further do I have to go? Oh, jeez, dude. Oh, my God. Of course this chapter's fucking gigantic. Oh, my God, dude. You're kidding me. Holy crap. Okay, I got this is at least like 30 minutes to an hour. Ooh. Fuck, did I lose my place? Okay. Ahead and eastward, they saw the windy uplands. God. Dude, I'm worried it's gonna be more than 2 hours, I think. Okay. Ahead and eastward, they saw the windy uplands of the wold of Rohan. The biggest problem is how hot it is. It is so hot because I turn off my AC for audio purposes, and it just gets so fucking hot. open the window, but I don't know if it's gonna help because it's like also warm outside. Like that's the biggest problem is how hot it is. That is the biggest problem. Well, it's not just the AC; it's also like a bunch of fans, because the AC is on the other side of the apartment. So I set up a bunch of fans to get it into this room. So it's like very loud. But we're halfway through. What people who are going to stay for this episode. People who are going to click away are going to have clicked away already. So you know what? Screw it. Let's try. I feel like that's loud enough you can hear it, you know. I feel like you can hear that. But whatever. Okay, let's just freaking go. Bet it'll be like that brown noise vibe. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it'll be fine, you know. I wanted like good quality, you know, consistently, but it is summer and it is just unbelievably hot and I am going to die. And if we're going to keep perfect though. Oh yeah, is it? Okay. Well, you know, you're my only viewer at the moment. Maybe Cinemike is in there and Chrysanthemum, I don't know, but so this is for you. Peachy King, this is for you. Let's see. Shit, where am I at? The night grew colder, except fitfully. All the way. Okay. Fuck. Okay, yeah, the chat is a little weird. The stream is like not really on time, unfortunately. It's kind of awkward. But whatever. YouTube, you know? YouTube. For me, for you. Yes, for us. Okay, we got a ways to go. Let's get going. Ahead and eastward they saw the windy uplands of the wold of Rohan that they had already glimpsed many days ago from the great river. Northwestward stalked the dark forest of Fangorn. Still 10 leagues away stood in its shadowy eaves, and its further slopes faded into the distant blue. Beyond there glimmered far away, as if floating on a gray cloud, the white head of tall Methydras, the last peak of the misty mountains. It is so loud, dude. You can 100% hear that so hardcore. So hard. So hardcore. But you know what? This is not a professional recording. You know? I didn't do good. I might be doing okay now, but I didn't do good enough early on for it to, like, be worth it, you know? So one day I'll read it again, maybe. Beyond there glimmered far away, as if floating on a gray cloud, the white head of tall Methydras. The white head of tall Methydras. The white head of tall Methydras. The last peak of the misty mountains. Out of the forest, the Entwash flowed to meet them, its stream now swift and narrow, and its banks deep cloven. The York Trail turned from the downs towards it, following with his keen eyes the trail to the river, then the river back towards the forest. Aragorn saw a shadow on the distant green, a dark, swift-moving blur. He cast himself upon the ground and listened again intently. Legolas stood beside him, shading his bright elven eyes with long, slender hand. Hi, Bunny. Hi. Been a minute since I saw you talking here. How you doing? Yeah, it's June and the economy sucks. Do what you love. You know, I'm doing this because I thought it'd be entertaining. Do I love it? That's a great question, but I don't like to quit in the middle of things, so I'm going to try to do the whole fucking series. I'm going to turn the intensity of the fan down a little bit. Unless you hate it. Unless you would prefer me to turn it back up, Peachy Keen. then I will do what you think is what you want your ears to enjoy or whatever. Let's see. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. Far behind them in dark smoke. There was silence in the empty fields, and Gimli could hear the air moving in the grass.
Riders! Riders! Cried Aragorn, springing to his feet. Many riders on swift steeds are coming towards us. Yes. Yes.
No, sorry.
Yes, said Legolas. There are 105. Yellow is their hair, and bright are their spears. Their leader is very tall.
Aragorn smiled.
Keen are the eyes of elves, he said. Nay, the riders are little more than 5 leagues distant, said Legolas. 5 leagues or 1, said Gimli. We cannot escape them in this bare land. Shall we wait for them here, or go on our way?
You just love for me to be not dying of heat stroke. That's a good thing. I appreciate that. Thank you, Peachikeen. Thank you. I am doing better now. The fans are helping for sure.
We will wait. We will wait, said Aragorn. I am weary, and our hunt has failed, or at least others were before us. For these horsemen are riding back down the Oak Trail. We may get news from them. Or spears, said Gimli. There are 3 empty saddles, but I see no hobbits, said Legolas. I did not say that we should hear good news, said Aragorn, but evil or good, we will await it here. The 3 companions now left the hilltop, where they might be an easy mark against the pale sky, and they walked slowly down the northward slope. A little above the hill's foot they halted, and wrapping their cloaks about them, they sat huddled together upon the faded grass. The time passed slowly and heavily. The wind was thin and searching. Gimli was uneasy. What do you know of these horsemen, Aragorn? He said. Do we sit here waiting for sudden death? I have been among them, answered Aragorn. They are proud and witful, but they are true-hearted, generous in thought and deed, bold but not cruel, wise but not unlearned, writing no books but singing many songs.
More singers! Wow.
After the manner of the children of men before the dark years. But I do not know what has happened here. But I do not know what has happened here of late, nor in what mind the Rohirrim may now be between the traitor Saruman and the threat of Sauron. They have long been the friends of the people of Gondor, though they are not akin to them. It was in forgotten years long ago that Eorl the Young brought them out of the north, and their kinship is rather with the Bardings of Dale, and with the Beornings, of the wood, among whom may still be seen many men tall and fair, as are the riders of Rohan. At least they will not love the orcs. But Gimli spoke of a rumor that they pay tribute to Mordor, said... Wait, sorry, did I say Gimli? But Gandalf spoke of a rumor that they pay tribute to Mordor, said Gimli. I believe it no more than Boromir. I believe it no more than did Boromir, answered Aragorn. You will soon learn the truth, said Legolas. Already they approach. At length, even Gimli could hear the distant beat of galloping hooves. The horsemen, following the trail, had turned from the river and were drawing near the downs. They were riding like the wind. Now the cries of clear, strong voices came ringing over the fields. Suddenly they swept up with a noise like thunder, and the foremost horseman swerved, passing by the foot of the hill, and leading the host back southward along the western skirts of the downs. After him they rode, a long line of mail-clad men, swift,
shining, fell and fair to look upon. Fell and fair to look upon. The horses were of great stature, strong and clean-limbed. Their grey coats glistened. Their long tails flowed in the wind. Their manes were braided on their proud necks. The men that rode them matched them well, tall and long-limbed. The hair, flaxen pale, flowed under their light helms, and streamed in long braids behind them. Their faces were stern and keen. In their hands were tall spears of ash. Painted shields were slung at their backs. Long swords were at their belts, and their burnished shirts of mail hung down upon their knees.
You're good. Sorry, I hope you've been doing well. I've been doing pretty good. I've gotten back into deadlock. Yeah. We love the deadlock. I love deadlock. I have not streamed it because it didn't feel like it fit my my new vibe, you know. But I love deadlock. Maybe I'll do another stream at some point, you know, just for funsies, you know. Okay, where are we at? At length, even Gimli could hear the distant beat of galloping hooves. The horsemen, following the trail, had turned from the river and were drawing near the downs. They were riding like the wind. Now the cries of clear, strong voices came ringing over the fields. Suddenly they swept up with a noise like thunder, and the foremost horseman swerved, passing by the foot of the hill, and leading the host back southward along the western skirts of the downs. After him they rode, a long line of mail-clad men, swift, shining, fell and fair to look. Oh, I already read that one. Fuck. God damn it. Their horses were, yeah. Okay, yeah, we read all this shit. God damn it. Okay. In pairs they galloped by, though every now and then one rose in his stirrups and gazed ahead and to either side. They appeared not to perceive the three strangers sitting silently and watching them. The host had almost passed when suddenly Aragorn stood up and called in a loud voice, "What news from the north, riders of Rohan?" Riders of Rohan! This is what the chapter's about, which is why we still have so much longer to go, probably. Fuck me. Holy crap, man. Like, literally, like, I don't even want to fucking finish this. That is so long. That is so long. It just keeps going and going. Like, this is such a long chapter. It just went from, like, the shortest chapter in the entire book. I read it in 30 minutes to the longest chapter. Okay, we'll keep reading for now, but I might for the first time stop in the middle of a chapter because I'm very tired, and I sucked it up and I'm doing the stream happily, but like I'm very tired and I did not expect to stumble into a 3-hour stream. Okay. But we'll keep reading a little bit more. With astonishing speed and skill, they checked their steeds, wheeled, and came charging around. Soon the three companions. Oh. Fuck. Soon the three companions found themselves in a ring of horsemen, moving in a running circle, up the hill slope behind them and down, round and round them, and drawing ever inwards. Aragorn stood silent, and the other two sat without moving, wondering what way things would turn. Without a word or cry, suddenly the riders halted. A thicket of spears were pointed towards the strangers, and some of the horsemen had bows in hand, and their arrows were already fitted to the string. Then one rode forward, a tall man, taller than the rest. From his helm, a crest, a white horsetail flowed. He advanced until the point of his spear was within a foot of Aragorn's breast. Aragorn did not stir. "Who are you, and what are you doing in this land?" said the rider, using the common speech of the West, in manner and tone like to the speech of Boromir, man of Gondor. Oh, he sounds like Boromir?
Who are you, and what are you doing in this land? Said the rider, using the common speech of the West, and manner and tone, like to the speech of Boromir, man of Gondor. I am Cold Strider, answered Aragorn. I am Cold Strider, answered Aragorn. I came out of the north. I am hunting orcs. The rider leaped from his horse, giving his spear to another, who rode up and dismounted at his side. He drew his sword and stood face to face with Aragorn, surveying him keenly, and not without wonder. At length he spoke again. At first I thought you yourselves were orcs, he said, but now I see it is not so. Indeed, you know little of orcs if you go hunting them in this fashion. They were swift and well armed, and they were many. You would have changed from hunters to prey, if ever you overtaken them. But there is something strange about you, Strider. He bent his clear, bright eyes again upon the ranger. That is no name for a man that you give. And strange, too, is your raiment. Have you sprung out of the grass? How did you escape our sight? Are you elvish folk?
About next time on the Hobbits, on the Hobbitis, do it. Yeah. But I'm gonna try to finish that a little more. Let's see.
No. I'm Aragorn, yes. No, said Aragorn. Only one of us is an elf. Legolas from the Woodhelm realm is distant. Only one of us is an elf, Legolas from the woodland realm in distant Mirkwood. But we have passed through Lothlorien, and the gifts and favour of the lady go with us. The rider looked at them with renewed wonder, but his eyes hardened. Then there is a lady in the Golden Wood, as the old tales tell, he said. Few escape her nets, they say. These are strange days, but if you have her favour, then you are also net weavers and sorcerers, maybe. He turned a cold glance suddenly upon Legolas and Gimli. Why do you not speak, silent ones? He demanded. Gimli rose and planted his feet firmly apart. His hand gripped the handle of his axe, and his dark eyes flashed. Give me your name, Horsemaster, and I will give you mine, and more besides, he said. As for that, said the rider, staring down at the dwarf, the stranger should declare himself first. Yet I am named Eomer, son of Eomund, and am called the third marshal of Riddermark. Then, Eomer, son of Eomund, third marshal of Riddermark, let Gimli, the dwarf Glowin's son, warn you against such... Let Gimli, the dwarf, Glowin's son, warn you against such foolish words. You speak evil of that which is fair beyond the reach of your thought, and only little wit can excuse you.
Oh my gosh, so dramatic.
Elmer's eyes blazed, and the men of Rohan murmured angrily, and closed in, advancing their spears. I would cut off your head, beard and all, master dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground, said Eomer. He stands not alone, said Legolas, bending his bow and fitting an arrow, with hands that moved quicker than sight. You would die before your stroke fell. Eomer raised his sword, and things might have gone ill, but Aragorn sprang between them and raised his hand. Your pardon, Eomer, Your pardon, Eomer, he cried. When you know more, you will understand why you have angered my companions. We intend no evil to Rohan, nor to any of its folk, neither to man nor to horse. Will you not hear our tale before you strike? I will, said Eomer, lowering his blade. But wanderers in the Riddermark would be wise to be less haughty in these days of doubt. First, tell me your name. First, tell me your right name. First, tell me whom you serve. First, tell me whom you serve. said Aragorn. "Are you friend or foe of Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor?" "I serve only the Lord of the Mark, Theoden, king, son of Thengel," answered Eomer. "We do not serve the power of the Black Land far away, but neither are we yet at open war with him. If you are fleeing from him, then you had best leave this land. There is trouble now on all our borders, and we are threatened. But we desire only to be free, and to live as we have lived, keeping our own, and serving no foreign lord, good or evil. We welcome guests kindly in the better days. We welcomed guests kindly in the better days, but in these times the unbidden stranger finds us swift in heart. Come, who are you? Whom do you serve? At whose command do you hunt orcs in our land?" "I serve..." Aragorn is like, "I am Aragorn." Aragorn, yes. "I serve no man. I serve no man," said Aragorn. "But the servants of Sauron I pursue into whatever land they may go. There are few among mortal men who know more of orcs. I do not hunt them in this fashion out of choice. The orcs whom we pursue took captive 2 of my friends. In such need, a man that has no horse will go on foot, and he will not ask for leave to follow the trail, nor will he count the heads of the enemy save with the sword. I am not weaponless." Aragorn threw back his cloak. The elven sheaf. Shit, fuck. My mouth is floundering. I need to take a break. The elven sheath glittered as he grasped it, and the bright blade of Anduril shone like a sudden flame. And the bright blade of Anduril shone like a sudden flame as he swept it out. "Elendil," he cried, "I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and I am called Elisar, the Elfstone, Dunedain, the heir of Isildur, Elendil's son of Gondor. Here is the sword that is broken, and is forged again. Will you aid me, or will you thwart me? Choose swiftly."
Wow. This guy's fabulous. He's just like, "I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn."
"I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. I am Aragorn."
I feel like I do want to read that again, actually.
"I am Aragorn. Elendil," he cried. "I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. I am called Elisar, the Elfstone, Dunedain, the heir of Isildur, Elendil's son of Gondor. Here is the sword that was broken and is forged again. Will you aid me or thwart me? Choose swiftly."
Dramatic.
Gimli and Legolas looked upon their companion in amazement, for they had not seen him in this mood before. He seemed to have grown in stature while Eomer had shrunk, and in his living face they caught a brief vision of the power and majesty of the kings of stone. For a moment it seemed to the eyes of Legolas that a white flame flickered on the brows of Aragorn, like a shining crown. Eomer stepped back, and a look of awe was in his face. He cast down his proud eyes. "These are indeed strange days," he muttered. "Dreams and legends spring to life out of the grass." Tell me, Lord," he said. "What brings you here? What was the meaning of the dark words? What was the meaning of the dark words? Long has Boromir, son of Denethor, been gone seeking an answer, and the horse that we lent him came back riderless. What doom do you bring out of the north? The doom is of choice.
Fuck, dude. These humans, I need to do a better job of differentiating them. Like, they sound so similar.
The doom, Aragorn, yes, I am Aragorn. The doom of choice. The doom of choice, said Aragorn. You may say this to Theoden, son of Thengel. Open war lies before him. with Sauron or against him. None may live now as they have lived, and few shall keep what they call their own. But of these great matters we will speak later. If chance allows, I will come myself to the king. Now I am in great need, and I ask for help, at least for tidings. You heard what we are pursuing. You heard that we are pursuing an Orcoast that carried off our friends. What can you tell us?
Oh, I'm going to finish this fucking page. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh, it just keeps going and going. Yeah, man.
That you need not pursue them further, said Eomer. The orcs are destroyed, and our friends. We found none but orcs, but that is strange. But that is strange indeed. Did you search the slain? Were there no bodies other than those of all kind? They would be small, only children to your eyes, unshod, but clad in grey. There were no dwarves nor children, said Eomer. We counted all the slain, and despoiled them. And then we piled the carcasses and burned them, as is our custom. The ashes are smoking still.
We do not speak of dwarves or children. Our friends were hobbits.
Hobbits, said Eomer. And what may they be? It is a strange name.
A strange name for a strange folk, said Gimli. But these were very dear to us. It seems that you have heard in Rohan of the words that troubled Minas Tirith. They spoke of the halfling. These hobbits are halflings.
Oh, they're halflings. They're halflings.
Halflings, laughed the rider that stood before Eomer. Halflings, laughed the rider that stood beside Eomer. Halflings? But they are only little people in old songs and children tales of the north.
No, see, every regular folk... Okay.
Halflings? They're only the little people in songs. Now I'm about to dang sound like this. Yes, they are only little folk. Halflings, but they're only a little people in old songs and children tales out of the north. Do we walk in legends, or on the green earth that is in daylight? A man may do both, said Aragorn, for not we, but those who come after will make the legends of our time. The green earth, say you. That is a mighty matter of legend, though you tread it under the lights of day.
Random Strider.
Time is pressing.
Oh God, I'm too tired to come up with new voices. It's too tiring. It's like I can't. Let's see. The random human.
Well, yeah, what you got going on, mate? I'm a random human. Time is pressing, said the rider, not heeding Aragorn. We must hasten south, Lord. Let us leave these wild folk to their fancies, or us bind them and take them to the king. Peace, Eothane, said Eomer in his own tongue. Leave me a while. Tell Eored to assemble on the path, and make ready to ride with it.
Okay, so this is Eothane. God damn it, he's not even a goofball. Okay, he's a regular, he's like almost formal.
Time is pressing, said the rider, not heeding Aragorn. We must hasten south, Lord. Let us leave these wild folk to their fancies, or let us bind them and take them to the king. Peace, Eothane, said Eomer in his own tongue. Leave me a while. Tell Eored to assemble on the path, and make ready to ride to the Entwade.
Oh, I can't do it anymore. It's just taking me out of it, dude. Taking me out of it. My energy is gone. This has gone too long. We're at 2 hours. We're introducing all these random humans that I got a voice, and I'm just too tired. Too tired. Part of me is like, should I read ahead on these chapters so I know what to plan? You know, maybe I should plan ahead just to make it easier on myself. By the way, A&R Streaming, hello. Thanks for saying hi. Thank you for boosting the algo with some interaction. I appreciate it. Keep going. I'm going to keep going, but not today. Not today. I'm done. I'm not going to finish this chapter, dude. Oh, I'm too tired. There's all these voices, and I'm just like, I can't keep it up. I can't keep it up. I guess it's only 2 hours, but like, dude, I'm tired. I had a long weekend. I had a long week. I had a long couple of weeks. And I really needed to rest, but I wasn't able to do it because my fucking car stopped working properly, and I had to take it into the shop and help with my father, who was going through he got heart surgery. It's a big deal, you know, and I want to help out and be good. And there's a lot going on, okay? Too much going on for William. I am just tired. I wonder, is Peachy Keen there? Thank you for watching, Peachy Keen. Bunny, I hope you're around. Thank you for watching. I want to do another little Deadlock stream, you know, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Speaking of which, my friend is around. He wants to play some Deadlock right now. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's here. Thank you for watching, folks. I am too tired to keep going. We're gonna do the unthinkable and stop in the middle of a chapter because I'm just too freaking tired. I can just feel it. I can just feel myself reading and just be like, you know, like, yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. Farewell. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. And Happy New Year, even though and even though we're exactly halfway through the year, so the furthest possible that you could be from that time. But whatever, you know, I said it. The words came out of my mouth. Oh, hey, there's Enrique. Thank you, Enrique. I appreciate that. I will have a good rest. Even better now that you have requested it. For you, I'll have a really good rest. Really good. Okay. Farewell. Peace out.